Did Epstein ever ask you or Mr. Clinton for any favors of any kind?
I never talked to Jeffrey Epstein.
Alleging you and others ran a child sex trafficking ring from a Washington pizzeria in the Epstein files.
Was related to the wacky Pizzagate.
Pizzagate was totally made up. I can't believe you're even referencing it.
There are connections to the language.
Well,
I'm
the
not talking
QAnon
about,
people believe there are, so
I don't know what QAnon people believe.
Have at it.
Ms. Clinton, Madam Secretary, while we sit on the record today, are you under oath?
I am.
Okay. Have you ever lied while being under oath?
I have not.
Have you ever lied in a deposition?
I have not.
Okay, thank you. Have you ever transmitted any information to Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell about the United States government?
I have not.
As has been mentioned many times here today, Bill Clinton flew on Epstein's plane at least 26 times, multiple international trips from 2002 to 2003, often with Maxwell. When and how did you first learn of these trips, and did you discuss them or review them with him prior to taking the trips?
It's a compound question. I'm going to object to the latter part of it and instruct
Sure.
her not to answer on the grounds of
When and how did you
marital-
learn of these first trips? Of these trips?
I don't recall how I learned about them. I knew that he was traveling on a number of different planes owned by a number of different people, and I don't recollect having conversations about the planes. We talked about the work. We talked about the meetings that he had. We talked about his efforts to try to persuade countries to invest in low-cost AIDS
Did you
drugs.
discuss who
That's
he would
what
be
we talked
traveling
about.
with?
I did not. I don't have any recollection of that.
Ms. Clinton, when did you first learn that your husband was spending time extensively with a registered sex offender?
He did not after, he was convicted years after Bill stopped having any.
Were there any
connection.
activities that raised any red flags to think that he could be charged of sex crimes during the time
Are you
that
asking if
Clinton?
she has awareness?
Yes.
Of Jeffrey Epstein?
Of any red flags being brought to your awareness, to your family's awareness, while your husband was spending time with Jeffrey Epstein?
I have no recollection of anyone bringing any red flags to me.
So have any of the victims of Epstein or Maxwell ever reached out to you in any way?
I don't recall that.
For you do not recall any reason a victim may have reached out to you or your counsel?
Excuse me,
Your question
the
was, does she
question's asked and
recall
answered.
whether or not any
I asked
victim
any-
reached out to her, and she said she did not have an awareness of that.
Moving on, Ms. Clinton, are you aware of anyone ever telling your husband that they had damaging information about him that they would release?
I have no awareness of that.
Did Epstein ever ask you or Mr. Clinton for any favors of any kind?
I never talked to Jeffrey Epstein.
Did Maxwell ever ask you or Mr. Clinton for favors of any kind?
She did not ask me.
Did Epstein have any connection to or association with the Clinton Foundation?
There's been the allegation that he did, but I don't have any factual basis for knowing one way or the other.
Okay, and we have discussed today the small amounts donated historically, and the $20,000 to your campaign, the 1999 Senate campaign, $25,000 via
Excuse
affiliate
me, could you
to
state for the record, it was not to the campaign, so if you wouldn't mind just stating factually.
$20,000 to Hillary's 1999 Senate campaign.
No, it was a
That's
joint.
inaccurate.
It was a joint
Okay,
state campaign
joint campaign. Okay, sure.
fund.
Okay, so we have talked about those connections. In past public statements, as in 2017 speeches and interviews, you described Pizzagate as a baseless conspiracy theory, alleging you and others ran a child sex trafficking ring from a Washington pizzeria basement. Have you reviewed any 2025-2026 Epstein files that were released that you believe reference or relate to those specific 2016 claims regarding the Podesta emails, Comet Ping Pong Pizza used as code possibly?
I'm sorry, does
You're
this
asking
relate?
her about whether
Excuse me.
she's reviewed emails in
In
the
the Epstein
Epstein
files.
files, which relate to the wacky Pizzagate
You
scandal.
could characterize it however you want. I just would like to know if she's familiar with any of them.
So,
She's
excuse me,
commenting.
your question is about whether or not she has reviewed any emails in the Epstein release files about Pizzagate.
Correct.
Pizzagate was totally made up. It was an outrageous allegation that ended up hurting a number of people, that caused a deranged young man to show up with his assault rifle and shoot up a local pizzeria. I can't believe you're even referencing it. You should be.
There are connections to the language. I'm
Well,
not
the
talking
QAnon
about-
people believe there are, so.
I don't know what QAnon
have at
people
it.
believe.
Have at it.
But you've accused certain parties, and I think even right now today, of promoting slow walking or information in ways that fuels conspiracies. In your view, did any Epstein-Maxwell related investigations or file handling pre or post 2019 contribute to or intersect with the spread of Pizzagate style theories about Democrat figures?
Objection.
I have
Calls
no
for
way
an
of answering. That is the
impossible amount of
most
speculation.
ridiculously.
Have you or your representatives identified any Epstein file content that has been misinterpreted online to revive those claims? And what steps, if any, have you taken to clarify?
Again, object on the ground of
I think that this is all very
Speculation.
reasonable.
Well, first of all, I don't follow the crazy conspiracy stories that are online. I regret that anybody does. I find it quite sad, but also disturbing that people would believe some of what is put forth, like Pizzagate. So I have taken no steps to review anything
Do you think
that might
pizza-
have any connection to something which I think is totally bogus.
John Podesta, your 2016 campaign chair, appears in some Epstein file contexts. Social overlaps or mentions. Were you aware of any of the Podesta-related communications in the released files?
Can you
that have-
please provide examples or the evidence that you would like us to review, or the exhibits that reflect that in
I
order
can
for her to
get
be able to
I
do
can get
that?
some
mean,
exhibits
somebody
and
starts
pause
with
this
a
question
question
in
to
the
that when you
meantime.
provide those.
I will get those, and I will skip that question
The
until
Congresswoman
we can.
asked generally if she's aware.
Generally, she is asking if she's aware of specific information that is in the files that you all are relying on. Please provide the witness with
If your
copies of that
client
materials.
doesn't know or has no recollection, she's welcome to state so.
We're also welcome to actually see the information that you're speaking
And
to.
again, the representative is asking general.
I mean,
general
really,
questions.
I
She's
mean, I
familiar.
expected a lot of interesting questions today, but Pizzagate was not on my list.
That's okay. We're asking all sorts of things here.
You certainly are. You certainly are.
We're just trying to get the truth out to the American people
Well, that
and
would
get
be
some clarity.
very helpful.